Now we are resuming where we left off. Now we move on now. Here it says, Your kinsfolk in your heart reprove your kinsmen, but incur no guilty because of him. You shall not take a vengeance or bear a crush against your countrymen. Love your fellow as yourself. I am the Lord. It, now it put bracket. It put Jehovah in bracket. Leviticus chapter 9, verse 17 and 18. The founder of Christianity stated, But I say to you who are listening, continue to love your enemies, to do good to those hating you, and your reward will be great. You will be sons of the Most High, because He is kind towards the unthankful and wicked. Then on the Luke chapter 6, verse 27 to 35, under the heading, She that is to be examined. The Quran stated a similar principle. Surah 60 and 7. It may be that Allah will bring about friendship between you and those of them whom you hold as enemies. And Allah is powerful, Allah is forgiving and merciful. We turn up the page now. We turn to another page. We continue like that. Whoever, while tolerance, understanding are needed, that does not imply that it makes no difference what one believes, as historian Godfrey Perenda stated. It is sometimes said that all religions have the same goal, or are equal ways to the truth, or even that teach that some doctrines. Yet the ancient executives who held up the beating hearts of the victims to the sun. Remember back in the days, if you have seen the picture, that people in ancient time, they were connected to the sun. They were believing that sun is the God. So they were doing some cult things like give offerings by just getting or kill people and dedicate the heart of that decayed person to the sun as a symbol of offerings to the sun. It used to happen back in the days, as you have seen the pic here, as you can see it here. They were normally doing sacrifices by just killing people and took out a heart and symbolize it to the sun as offerings. Remember, it used to happen back in the days. Back in the days, as you can see, religions, most people have died, have suffered a lot. Look how people, look what they did here. They took out the heart and represent it to the sun. Normally, when they represent it like this to the sun, then the sun will just give what you call a shadow of sign showing that it just seeing what is happening. But that was their own belief. I don't think there was a sun that could tell you what to do. It was their own beliefs, which was not good at all. Imagine killing someone who never done anything. Because of that person, he is the slaves. Then you have to kill the person, thinking that the person doesn't have rights. The person doesn't even have plans of future. So they were normally taking slaves, not anybody from their tribes. They were just dedicate sacrifice to the sun by killing slaves. I mean, come on. People who never done anything wrong to you, but they are the one who should pay as a sacrifice to your belief. I mean, lots of things were happening back in the days. This one happened before Christ, this one. It really happened before the birth of Christ. It shows how difficult things were before. Okay. Now we were here, ne? Yet the ancient ascetics who held up the beating heart to their victims to the sun surely did not have as good religion as that of peaceful and Buddha. Furthermore, when it comes to worship, it is not God Himself who should determine what is and is not acceptable. You see, sometimes people are putting liars about God. They take out their imaginaries and what their thoughts, and they come and tell people we need to do this, which is it mislead. They mislead people by following wrong decisions. Let's continue. How should religions be measured? While most religions have a blood of beliefs or doctrines, this can often from every complicated theology beyond the understanding of the average layperson, yet the principle of cause and effect applies. In every case, the teachings of religion should influence the personality and daily contact of each believer. Thus, each person contact will normally be reflection to a greater or lesser degree of that one religious background. What effects does your religion have on you? Does your religion produce kinder person or more generous, honest, humble, tolerant, compassionate? These are the reasonable questions for one great religious teacher. Jesus Christ stated, "Every good tree produces fine fruit, but every rotten tree produces worthless fruit. A good tree cannot bear worthless fruit, neither can be rotten tree produce fine fruit. Every tree not producing fine fruit gets cut down and thrown into the fire. Reality, then by their fruits you recognize the meaning." Here is stated Matthew chapter 17 chapter 7 verse 17 to 20. If you have a Bible, you can get a Bible. You can get a Bible and try to furthermore. Now we see here what is happening. In the same of religion, millions have killed and been killed. Why all people were being killed and killed? Because of people were fighting among this religion. They wanted their very own religion to be superior. They wanted their religion to conquer. So many lives have lost. Many souls have lost because of religion. Like I said, someone will use his thinking and imaginaries wanting people to follow that, practicing his very own thoughts. Certainly, world history must give us a pause and make us wonder that role religion has played in the many wars that have been devastated mankind and caused untold suffering. Why have so many people killed and been killed in the name of religion? The Crusades, in Inquisition, and the conflicts of the Middle East and Northern Ireland, the slaughter between Iraq and Iran. And if you still check here, Inquisition and the conflicts of the Middle East, Northern Ireland, slaughter between Iraq and Iran, these things are still happening. Look at today what is happening. The Palestine are still suffering. The very same thing that we read about now is still happening as we speak. And you will ask yourself, why there is no resolution? Why there is no something that will resolve the issue that had happened? Why should we continue doing what our ancestors started? I mean, it doesn't make a sense. Why today people we still have to suffer the consequences of our yesteryears? Like I said, forgive me because I'm using a book here. I know we live in a life of new technology, but sometimes we need to take a book and read. We need to go further in the book and read it. Hundi Sikh clashes in India. All these events certainly make thinking people raise questions about religious beliefs and ethics. See box below. The realm of Christendom has been noteworthy for its hypocrisy. In this field, in 2 world wars, Catholics have killed Catholic, and Protestant has killed Protestant at the behest of their Christian. Like we said, what are some of example of Christendom fruitage? Here they tell you about religion, love, and hatred. They say religious war tended to be extra furious when people fight over territory for economic advantage. They refresh the point where the battle is not worth the cost and so compromise. When the cause is religious, compromise and conciliation seem to be evil. Roger Sheen, professor of social ethics, Union Theological Seminary, New York. Men will wrangle for religious. Ride for it, fight for it, die for it, everything but live for it. Whether true religion has prevented one crime, false religions have afforded priests for thousands. Charles Caleb Carlton, 1825. We have just enough religions to make us hate, but not even to make us love one another. Jonathan Swift, 16 and 69, 17 and 45. Whenever men never do evil so completely and cheerful as when they do it from religious conviction. Blaise Pascal, 1623 and 62. The true purpose of the higher religion is to radiate the spiritual counsels and truths that are its essence into as many souls as it can reach, in order that each of these souls may be enabled thereby to fulfill the true aim of man. Man's true end is to glorify God, to enjoy Him forever. Arnold Toynbee, historian. Toynbee, historian. Political leaders. Yet the Bible clearly constructs the works of the flesh and the fruitage of the Spirit. Regarding the works of the flesh, it states they are fornication, uncleanness, lost contact, idolatry, practice of spiritism, enmities, strife, jealousy, faith or anger, contentions, divisions, sects, envies, drunken, about rivalries, and things like this. So, as to those things, I am forewarning you, the same way as I did forewarn you, that those who practice such things will not inherit God's kingdom. Yet, so called Christians have practiced these things for centuries, and their conduct has often been condemned by the clergy. Galatians chapter 5, 19 to 21. In construct, the positive fruitage of the Spirit is described as love, joy, peace, long sacrifice, kindness, goodness, faith, mildness, self-control. Against such things, there is no law. All religions ought to be produced this kind of peaceable fruitage. But today, does yours. Galatians 5:22 to 23. Therefore, this book, Examination of Mankind, Search for God, through the Word, religious, should serve to answer some of our questions. But by what criteria should a religion be judged? By whose standard? Why religion is good enough for me? Many people dismiss religious discussion, saying my religion is good enough for me. I don't do any harm to anyone else, and I help when I can. But those that go far enough are our personal criteria on religion sufficient. Now you hear it. You heard how we heard about other professors, the way they give their very own opinion about forming of these gospels. And also it warns us also about how other Christians who are really practicing love, kindness, long sacrifice, but some they don't. And it gave us a scripture, Galatians 5, 19 to 21. I mean, religion is something that I may say it's emotional. I think the form of it was made out of emotions. Because the very same people who claim to be Christians or Muslims or whatever, they don't love each other, those people. They are sitting groups among themselves, but claiming to worship the very same Christ, the very same Allah. But people are still killing one another. Like I said, the religions were formed under or the influence of emotions have created religions. Someone wanting to rule, someone want to be above. Remember, we are living on earth. Everyone wants to rule, but we're lying to ourselves. We cannot, all of us, be rulers. Some of us, we need to pay attention and listen or give advice. Like I said, our religions were influenced by emotions. Remember back in the days, people were fighting for lands. I mean, all kings were fighting each other. They wanting to conquer all the places. That's how religions started, was formed or influenced by emotions. That's why today people still wanting, still hating each other, still doing things that not showing a good criteria. I think for now, we went through. Please don't forget to subscribe. Just subscribe until we come up with a new video.